everybody, Tony BTF Fatherpreneur. We are in Budapest, Hungary. I didn't think about the wind, but I just climbed to the top of this mountain and it is beautiful here. So far we've been in Hungary for, I don't know if you could see the houses and stuff over there, but it's been Budapest, very beautiful country. On the way here from Romania, there's all kinds of sunflowers, fields, very beautiful. Now we're in Hungary and it's like forest everywhere, at least, yeah, especially in the city. Where we've been so far, I rented a house, an Airbnb house. I don't remember how much it was. It's like 2,000 or 3,000 a week. Nice little house. A lot of these Airbnbs just people's houses that they like rent out. They're not all professionally managed, especially in Europe. The US, they do a better job of being like professionally managed, but so far so good. We just got done with Romania, Bucharest. Yeah, Bucharest, Romania. Romania was not our favorite. It's probably, we've been 15 countries now. It was probably our least favorite. The food wasn't that great. The people were like, they're like nice. They're just kind of indifferent. I don't know if it's they have a lot of Romani blood or they seem a little aloof to strangers. Or they don't necessarily like outsiders. I don't know if it's because of all the years of war and conquest and the Ottomans. And we didn't make it to Dracula's castle because we're just living on the road. So we're not doing all the tourist stuff. We just kind of like live amongst the people. Just trying to make sure I don't fall here. I'm kind of in a precarious spot. But leaving the US has been great. So Bucharest was not our favorite. The food wasn't the best. They did have a really cool water park. It's the Therm Water Park. Sorry, I'm loving these Cuban cigars. So they had the Therm Water Park there. That was cool. We went down and saw it was like their palace, their government building or whatever. It was freaking huge. The guy dropped us off on one side. And then by the time we walked to the other side, it was like a mile and a half, like 25 minutes just to get around the building. And then we met this Uber driver, and he was there during the communist times, and he had actually got shot in the arm by the communists, Ceausescu, when they overthrew him in '89. And then he was telling us the story how you used to have to you really did have to wait in line for bread and milk for like 3 hours. His dad actually died in line trying to get eggs because it was like a 2-hour, 3-hour line. And then these like Romani dudes tried to cut in line and his dad tried to keep the peace and one of them punched him. Then he fell back and hit his head and died. And then when they took over the main government building or whatever, all the citizens like piled all the cars in front and all the tables and chairs from all the diners. And then the government like ran a tank through, and then he said the soldiers came out and then they spread out left, spread out right, and they each had a shield and a gun. And so they had a big line of shields and guns. And the dictator Ceausescu like told them to fire on the citizens. So they fired like one shot in the air and then one shot at an angle and then another shot, and they didn't leave. So then they ended up shooting a bunch of them. They shot like 3,000 people. And then injured, like 6,000 got shot too and got injured. He was one of the ones that got injured. He even showed me, because I got him to show me, he had it covered with like a brace, his bullet gunshot wound. So that was cool. I think I'm gonna start heading down. Break's over, 5-minute break's over. So that was cool meeting the actual communists, knowing that, you know, some of that stuff was true about waiting in the bread lines and all that. So it's been interesting meeting people. I met a guy from Iraq. And I was like, so do you like Americans? He's like, yeah, of course we like Americans. I was like, did you like Saddam Hussein, or how did that all go? Because I like hearing from real people instead of obviously what you hear on the news, which is complete BS. And he's like, yeah, Americans, like, you know, 80% love Saddam, and or so much percent love Saddam, and then, you know, so much didn't. So it's kind of like Republicans and Democrats. So that was interesting talking to him. Met another dude in the cab. He was from Pakistan, and he said it's better over here in Romania. Sorry, I'm getting to the end of my cigar. Let me switch. And he's like, yeah, the government like takes all the money and they're like in control of the power and gas and water. So he's like, your power will be out for like 2 or 3 hours a day, even though you're paying for it, and there's no way to, complain because the government runs it. So uh, I don't know why people in the US want to go that way towards communism, even though we're not in a capitalist society now. We're more in a corporatocracy or something where the corporations are ruling everything. But it's very interesting meeting all these people from different countries uh, and getting to explore. So I'm excited to go downtown Budapest. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful cities. There's tons to do. They got all these hot springs and stuff. But we're kind of living our normal life. So I still got to run our business and do all that. Business has been good, even though we're in the travel industry. So if you want to support the channel, go to vacationssimplified.com, and you can rent condos at the Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton condos for 10 to 70% off rather than booking directly with Marriott.com or Hilton.com. And they're 1 and 2 bedroom condos, studios. So you have a full kitchen, and instead of just your basic hotel room. It's like you have your own condo, but you're at a vacation resort with the pool and the kids camp and all that. So you save a ton of money on food because when you're eating out everywhere, even everywhere we've been is expensive. I mean, every time we go out to eat, it's $100-$200. Of course, we eat a lot, but it's at minimum 100, usually close to 200 for every meal. So if you're in a vacation destination, Hawaii, Aruba, Vegas, anywhere, you're going to spend a ton on food. And now that there's all these delivery apps like Instacart and everything, you can order food along. But we're enjoying leaving the US. The amazing thing, one of the things we did leave for was the taxes. I don't want my taxes supporting a government that's just going to go around bombing people, continuing to start wars and all that. So the cool thing is once you're out of the US for a year, you get the foreign income tax exclusion. So the first 230,000 of your income, you don't have to pay taxes on. So I figured that's saving us around 70,000 a year. Our housing's probably $1,000 a month cheaper. Power, $600 to $800 a month cheaper because it's included with the price of the Airbnbs. Internet saves me 160. I had Starlink in Tennessee, so 160 a month savings there. So, and then I save about 1,000 to 2,000 a month just not ordering stuff on Amazon. So even my business, our income hasn't went up in probably 4 years. It's been the same. But so what we're trying to do is geo arbitrage, just living in these different places. We're saving $10,000 to $13,000 a month just not living in the US. So with that, that's what, close to $100,000 a year. So we're able to pay for a private flight. So we're getting a private flight from Austria, Vienna to Tivat, Montenegro in August. So we don't have to drive all the way down there because you're only allowed to be in the EU for 90 days on your visa. And then some of the countries, you're only allowed to be there for 90 days on your visa. So we have to kind of keep traveling around and go to different areas. And we're trying to see all the different areas. Since I'm a poor Mexican, I never went on vacation one time. No, I did go on one vacation when I was 15. My mom took us up the Oregon coast through Washington and Bend, Oregon, and the coast of California, which was really cool. So of course I remember that trip, but other than that, I never left the US besides, Cabo, spring break, or, president's clubs when I sold timeshares in Mexico or Hawaii. Well, Hawaii is in the US, but I think I've been to a Puerto Vallarta on a Mexico cruise. So I never left the US. I was afraid to leave the US. I thought everybody lived in mud huts. Turns out it's just as nice over in these areas. So that's been cool, experiencing the different cultures. I think I said so in my last video. Belgrade, Serbia is my favorite so far. And then we did Sofia, Bulgaria. I don't remember when the last video. I got to do more of these videos more so I can take tax deductions. So Not concerned if people watch them. So we're using this as part of our business, documenting our travels. So food costs have been cheaper too, like probably save over $1,000 a month on groceries. Just because I just ordered today, we got like 6 big ass ribeyes, some T-bones, all kinds of groceries, like 6 T-bones that were all over a pound. They were like 500 grams. So what's that, about 15? It's like 20 something ounces, 23, 24 ounces. And so we got 6 of those for like $200. And from what I've seen in the US, it's like $30 or less than a pound of a ribeye. So we're saving a ton of money on food. Gas seems a little cheaper. I don't have to drive that much. So, because everywhere is pretty walkable, except for over the EU over this summer, we booked houses. So we're a little bit farther out. But when we were in North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Montenegro, you pretty much walk most places. So that saves you a ton of money on gas. My insurance is cheaper. My insurance is only like $2,000 a year over here. And that's on a brand new Mercedes van, full coverage. I think in the US it was closer to like 3,000. And that was what, a year and a half ago. My health insurance over here is only like $400 a month, where in the US it was $800 a month plus the first like 8,000 out of pocket. And so over here, I think I don't even think you have a deductible. If it is, it's like 2,000 maybe. So that's been cool seeing that. So it's crazy. So just without my income going up at all, just the money we're saving not living in the US, especially on the first part of my income. So not making any more money in my business, nothing. I'm saving over $100,000 a year. So we're able to get, pay ridiculous money for a private flight, which wasn't even that much. It was like $13,000 for 4 of us and the dog and all our suitcases and stuff. So then we don't have to drive back from Austria back to Montenegro, which would have been, I don't like driving more than 4 hours. And then if I do drive 4 hours, we like to stay for like a week or two. So that's just us personally. So I'm really glad we bought a car so we could drive around areas. And now, after being gone for a year and now figuring out how much money we're saving on taxes after dealing with our accountant. So we use like a international accountant that's used to dealing with entrepreneurs like us that have left and how to set up taxes properly. We're saving a considerable amount on that front. So saving that, eating good food, water parks, beautiful walking paths everywhere. All I know is everywhere's prettier than Las Vegas. I don't think that's that hard. But that's same true with the East Coast of the US. The East Coast of the US was very pretty as well. And where I'm from, Lake Tahoe is beautiful. But most of Nevada is just a desert. And you drive for like 8 hours and you're still in the same spot. Just dirt, desert, and sagebrush. Okay, I think I came this way. The big forest, but should be not hard to get lost on these paths. I tried to do the uphill on the way there, so it's downhill on the way back, because yesterday I did it opposite, and that was tough. Plus, I found this little cafe with these delicious, like baked goods, like cinnamon roll kind of things, and then these Russian dumplings. The Russian dumplings are amazing. There's like 3 different kinds of meat in it: pork, beef, veal. Those are good. I don't eat them, but my kid, I'll taste one. I'm on carnivore diet, so I just eat meat. And it's just crazy eating out, because this last trip in Romania, we did 4 hours to this city called Cebu, Romania, which we were only there for 4 days, and we didn't want to get all our shit out of the car. So we ate out, and I think I put on like 2 or 3 pounds. I can't go to the restroom. Like usually I have no, and that was just even eating just meat, which I usually have no problems with that. Maybe too much information, but carnivore is the way to go. The more you eat a carnivore diet, 80-90% just protein, butter, fat. Like I have to have ribeyes because you have to have the fat on the steak. So I don't know if this video will be helpful for anybody, but just to kind of keep you apprised of our journey. Kids are doing good. They're training in the circus arts. So they're going to be training with a lady here in Hungary, Budapest, different circus performers. And then we just found him a trainer in Montenegro where they do the silks and the lyra. And the lady does it on the beach. They have like these tripod things and they'll be able to train. You know, it's like Cirque du Soleil, like those long curtain things, silks. So they're doing that. And then, what else could I share? So don't be afraid to leave the US. If you have I didn't initially set up our business to be all online. It just kind of worked out that way because my wife wanted to buy essential oils after us trying to start business after business for, I don't know, God, so our whole marriage. So the first 10 to 15 years of our marriage, we started business after business. And then this one, when we stopped caring and my wife just did it to make some extra money to buy essential oils. And it was finally the one that took off. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, if you're thinking about starting a business, just keep doing shit. I've been working since I was 9 years old, starting business after business and learning skills along the way, getting up early, when I worked at Marriott, selling timeshares, I'd wake up at 5 in the morning, do my workout, go to work till 3 to 6 in the afternoon. Then I'd come home. Then I'd have to take over for my wife, and she was raising 2 babies while running our business full time by herself during the day. So from 9 in the morning till 3 to 6 till I got home, she'd be trying to corral our 1 to 2 year old kids and watch them and cook for them all, natural foods and stuff. And then so she would ran that, and then I'd get home at 3 to 6, and then I'd work on the business in between my tours while I was at work, finding inventory, putting ads up, doing all that stuff, finding stuff. And then she would process the reservations. And then when I would get home at 3 to 6, I would work till 6 to 9 at night, doing her job, booking the reservations and everything. So we did that for 2 years till we hired our first employee. So then, because my wife's German, it took me like multiple employees to replace her. And then, so after that, then the business just started growing. We started expanding, started learning new skills, how to market, how to do Facebook, how to hire people, trying to figure out how to manage people, try to keep costs down because costs can explode in the good times. And then when things go down, obviously you have to make decisions, get rid of some people, trim back, costs are getting out, business environment changes. Then we went through COVID, then we tried to add other products like RV rental. Then we've tried to add different products, and then you make money and then you try to invest it. And then investing's like super hard. So we're going through the journey. Like I tried to buy this YouTube channel thing that was supposed to work on its own. That turned out to be a scam. I invested with Kai Lopez, another YouTuber who bought Steinmart and Pier 1 Imports and all these big Fortune 500 used to be companies. He bought them distressed out of COVID. And that was supposed to make money, and that failed. We lost all our money on that. I did Bitcoin mining to try to, we only live off less than half of what we make. So that was the biggest thing. If I could share anything with you, get out of debt. We got out of debt. We only had one car for 10 years, paid off. This is the first car we bought in 10, 15 years just because we had to. I made some dude from Africa, from not Carmack, Carvana. It was like the day before we were going to move out of the US. We were going to sell it to Carvana. They gave us a quote. And then because we had towed this trailer on our whole trip, like one of the belts came loose. So when he showed up, my Escalade was making some noise from one of the belts were squeaking from towing this trailer behind us on our move from Tennessee to New York where our plane was going to leave, K9 Jets, which is awesome. Flying on a private jet with your dog. It was like the same as business class. For you and your pet, it was like $8,000 from Jersey to London. So that was cool. And I paid for all of us to go on that. But what was the point? Oh, so they weren't going to take the car, and we're like, what the hell are we going to do with it? So the guy who came from Carvana, he was from Africa. So I ended up selling him my Cadillac Escalade, which was in really good shape. I mean, there was a few little things wrong with it. Like, you know, maybe some, like a button or two was broke and the cruise control wasn't really working. But other than that belt noise, but other than that, he bought it for $1,000. So I made his day. So my old barber in Tennessee is like, this guy's going to be like, America's the greatest country in the world. I get Cadillac Escalade for $1,000. I thought that was funny. And so, yeah, anyways, leaving the U.S. probably the best decision we've ever made. There's some things I don't like obviously staying in Airbnbs is tough on my back, especially if you had a Tempur-Pedic mattress for 15, 20 years. Because Europeans do not know bed technology. They put like this mattress. It's like a pad. It's not even a mattress down. And that's like their bed in a lot of them. Some of them are getting smarter and getting mattresses, and the West is definitely taking over all these countries. It's just like being in America everywhere. Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Bulgaria. I wouldn't even have known where any of these places are. And it's just like being in the US. Almost everybody speaks English because they have to, because like who the hell speaks Bulgarian or who speaks Serbian, or, you know, so if they want to travel to the UK or Germany or whatever, the US or English, thanks to the Brits, is everywhere in the world. It's the international business language. So most everybody speaks English now, especially anybody you want to talk to. And if not, it's so easy to communicate. You just point at shit, 1 kilo, 2 kilo. You get by just fine, even if, and now with all these AI translators, like I have this one AI translator, and you just talk into it your language, it spits it out in his language, then you press the button, and it takes his language and spits it back into English. So, oh, here's a cute little pug dog. All right, I'm going to end the video there, but that's the update. I'll try to do some more videos, try to go downtown Budapest, see what they're talking about. Looks like a beautiful city. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or you want me to go over anything else. All right, peace out.